Hello and welcome to the video. This is a quick overview and review of this model here. This is the Eachine TWIG 150mm or 3-inch 2-3S FPV little racing drone. Now I've been quite excited to try this one out because it is 3-inch prop. Now I prefer 3 and even 4-inch prop models like this in this kind of sub 250 gram category. This only weighs about 60 grams and then you've got your battery on top of that, and comes in a couple of versions. I've got the Runcam Nano 2 version here, but you can also get it with a Caddx Baby Turtle HD version as well. Now it's about 107, 108 pounds with the Caddx Baby Turtle and about 81, 82 pounds with the Runcam. Now this features a Crazy Bee F4 Pro version 3 all-in-one flight controller. It's got Betaflight on-screen display, of course. It's got things like adjustable camera angle. The VTX power is switchable between 25 and 200 milliwatts. It is smart audio ready and you can actually change the settings with smart audio, and there's a built-in SPI based FreeSky receiver. Now be careful with that because it looks like it's running an international version of the software rather than an EU one. Capable of both 2 and 3S. The motors are cute little EX1105 5200 kV units. The onboard 4-in-1 ESC will provide 10 amps continuous peak or 12 amps for a couple of seconds. BL Heli suite programmable. The Runcam Nano inside this is a camera that I featured on the channel already. It's a cracking little camera for small applications like this. So it runs off lower voltage, 3 to 5.5 volts, only consumes about 110 milliamps. CMOS sensor, about 700 TVL lines, and roughly 155 degree field of view. Obviously, if you've got the HD one, it's going to be slightly different. Plugging it into the computer powers everything, including the receiver, which is great. So we will be able to bind to the radio without installing main power, and I really like that. So you can see here that as we move everything, it's all moving on the screen in Betaflight, which is fab. Ports look like that, so there's the smart audio setup for the VTX. The configuration, D-Shot 600, motor stop is turned on by default. 8K gyro and PID loop. Watch out for the fact that the board and center alignment has moved, so be aware of that if you do any upgrades to it. And then we need to change the SPI receiver for X series because that's what I'm going to be connecting. So reboot that, and then what we're going to do is just carry on. PID tuning looks like this. And then if I jump into the CLI type version, we can see we're running pretty modern version of Betaflight 4.04, released June 30th. So only a version or two out of date. So the next thing to do then is to bind to the model. So I'll just show this process. So I'm going to power up the radio and pop it into bind mode, channels 1 to 8 with telemetry on. And once I've done that, I'm going to put the bind RX SPI command in, and that should then bind everything. If I come and cancel the binding stuff on the little X-Lite radio that I'm using here, and then come out of this, we should find that everything is working. So reconnect, jump into the receiver tab, and there we are, we're all tickety-boo. So it's pretty standard setup from here on in. So configure on-screen display, configure your modes, and go through and do everything you need to. Now on a 3S pack, this is going to hover at about a quarter throttle. So it's got lots and lots of power to get around. So what's it like to fly? Well, here you can kind of get an idea of how well the camera performs, but then the camera's going to be pretty good. It's a little Runcam Nano 2. The challenge that I've had with this is the fact that I've been having lots and lots of fail-safes, but I'll come on to that in a minute. So this is a good spec and it's very light. 60 gram without the LiPo pack for the non-HD version is flyweight category, and for a model that flies this well when it flies, it's really good. Extrapolating the amount of flight time I'm getting off the 550 mAh 3S pack that I'm using here, I should be able to get over 10 minutes of flight time. But you'll notice that I'm using lots of cans, if, buts and maybes. And that is the biggest problem, which I'll kind of scoot to the bottom of this particular review. The main issue that I have had is that this is fail-safing on a very regular basis. If I fly around and manage to get the antenna between the radio and the other side of the model, it fail-safes and drops into the ground. And as you know, with Betaflight, once it's fail-safed, then it's tricky to arm it. So make sure that you have things like the buzzer set up in your flight modes, and you have the D-shot beacon to give you a fighting chance of finding it. This would really benefit from having some kind of piezoelectric buzzer on here to give you a chance of finding it in the long grass. I had a number of test flights with this and had a similar problem every single time. Even moving the antenna into different positions didn't really help. So this is almost great. The fact that it fail-safes for me and that I can't trust it means that it's one of those that probably won't be the first on the list to go and fly when I have a nice fine day like I've had today. If you have had experience with this and have a trick that you're using to get longer range, then please do post it in the comments. I would love to know. There is the option to connect an external S-Bus receiver on the flight controller in the manual, and that's probably something that I would recommend if you're looking at doing this. It is covered in the manual, so you can see exactly where the wires would need to go, and that would probably fix the range problem. And with that kind of range problem fixed, this is something that I would recommend. But if you were thinking like me that this would be a great little explorer and also super to use for something like the X-Flight, my experience here hasn't been great. So I'd order and attach a little proper FrSky micro S-Bus receiver and wire it into this frame to make this model perform at its full potential. Thanks for watching the video and watching right to the very end. You can find me in all the usual places on social media, and if you like the video and like what I'm doing here, then hit the subscribe button and hit the bell notification icon too. If you really like what I'm doing, you can go the extra mile and become one of my Patreons for access to me directly for support, and also giveaways and regular updates too. If you're looking for particular content, then check out the playlist. I organise all of my videos into playlists, so if you're looking for a particular topic, you can find everything here. If it's called Introduction To, it's designed to start very simply and build on that simple introduction to teach you all about it. If it's called For Beginners, then that is really aimed at people who are brand new to that part of the hobby. You can also search on YouTube for anything that you're interested in using the search function at the top. So iNav Painless 360 will find all of my videos and even the playlist around iNav. So thanks again for watching and happy flying.